One of the most hotly debated subjects in gaming right now is the subject of easy modes for games. Of course, the topic for game difficulty is even more relevant with a FromSoft title, as the developer is known for challenging gameplay mechanics in games that push the limits of difficulty in terms of what challenges a player can handle. But will Elden Ring have an easy mode? And should it? Hey everybody, and welcome back to RPG Dojo, your source for news, guides, and builds for the world's biggest games. In this video, we want to address a common question many players still have regarding one of the most hyped RPGs in recent memory, that being Elden Ring. And the question, of course, comes down to game difficulty. Now, regardless of what camp you are in, it's been more or less confirmed at this point, thanks to interviews with game director Hidetaki Miyazaki, exactly what type of difficulty settings we can expect from Elden Ring. So to answer the basic question, no, Elden Ring will not have an easy mode of any kind. But keep in mind, it's really not that simple. Elden Ring is on pace to be one of the easiest to play FromSoft titles of all time, but for different reasons than you might expect. So let's dive into this a little bit deeper. And if you enjoy this style of content, make sure you like this video. That way more of our future videos will get recommended to you. And if you really like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps us out. We are a brand new channel here on YouTube. Now, when game director Miyazaki was asked about difficulty, particularly how he would compare Elden Ring to his past FromSoft titles, he actually had a pretty interesting answer. Compared to games like Sekiro and Bloodborne, Miyazaki stated that Elden Ring would have a slightly easier action combat compared to both, and that Elden Ring was probably closer in difficulty to a game like Dark Souls 3. So if you're familiar with any of those previous titles, that will at least give you a decent starting point as to the game's overall difficulty level. Secondly, Miyazaki also stated in the same interview that Elden Ring will have one and only one difficulty level, with the idea here being that the game's developers want all players to share the same experience with identical dangers across the board. Basically a level playing field, if you want to think about it like that. I think this fact alone confirms that there will be no easy mode in Elden Ring, because essentially there won't be any difficulty settings at all that players can change. Now there is a big caveat here. Just because there are no adjustable difficulty levels in the game setting doesn't mean players don't have other tools to reduce the difficulty of certain encounters if they need to in order to progress. This is where things start to get really interesting. In examining other recent articles by Miyazaki, the entire team at FromSoft seems to be very focused on increasing player choice options in Elden Ring, whether it comes to things like weapon arts, magic, to the entire open world design itself. One of the main focuses of the game is allowing players to explore and to play as they want. There are several ways, in fact, that Elden Ring aims to accomplish this. First, players can progress freely through most of the entire world space from the start of the game. The world's 6 main realms don't necessarily need to be completed in any specific order, and even the demigod bosses that rule each area don't need to be defeated in order to progress the main story. Miyazaki said as much in recent interviews. So if for any reason a particular boss is, too difficult, players might be actually able to bypass that boss at least temporarily. And in the meantime, players can also continue to upgrade and collect new armor and weapons and unlock new magic and weapon arts in order to make their character even stronger. Personally, I love this aspect of freedom that you get in truly open world style games, and for players who also like to plan ahead, it will certainly make the game easier for them. Also, in addition to this gearing up cycle, other mechanics are also said to be helpful in passing through more challenging areas, including detailed stealth mechanics as well as multiplayer co-op. So if you can't defeat that demigod face to face, you might try stealthing in for some sneak attacks at the beginning, or maybe you just avoid the encounter altogether. And as far as co-op, you can always bring a friend into the battle as well. And speaking of backup, we also have a new system confirmed called Companion Spirits. It's going to be a brand new system for Elden Ring, basically equipable, upgradable spirits that you can collect throughout the game. We have a lot more information on this over on our Elden Ring wiki. I'll have a link down in the description if you want to check it out. But all in all, I think the open world design of Elden Ring and the focus on player customization and freedom is sure to make many different kinds of players happy. Whether you want to go straight for the main boss, fight them naked, or you want to gear up to max level before you try moving on, you seem to be able to play any way you want, and that's definitely a great thing in my opinion. But that being said, that's all we've got for you in this video. Like I said before, we are a brand new channel, so if you would do us a favor, like this video, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave us a comment. It all makes a huge difference as we try to slay the YouTube algorithm. If you want to see more Elden Ring, like I mentioned earlier, we do have a full wiki up and running on our website, rpgdojo.com. Link will be in the description if you want to check that out. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you around in the next video.